The Seven Little Johnstons world has exploded in debate after viewers criticized Trent Johnston for the way he reportedly spoke to Brice Bolden. Many fans felt Trent's tone toward Brice was harsh, disrespectful, and unnecessary, especially considering Brice is Elizabeth's partner and future family member. The situation quickly spread across social media, sparking arguments, reactions, and deep analysis among viewers who are now questioning Trent's behavior and intentions. Some believe Trent crossed a line, while others think he was simply being a protective father. But regardless of which side you stand on, one thing is clear: the tension is real, and fans are not staying quiet. The controversy started after several scenes aired where Trent and Brice discussed Elizabeth, their relationship, and their future plans, including marriage, finances, and starting a family. In those conversations, viewers sensed a dominant tone from Trent, as if he doubted Brice's capability or questioned whether Brice was good enough for Elizabeth. Fans called Trent's tone belittling, almost like he wanted to remind Brice who held power within the family. Brice handled everything calmly, but many believe he was put in an uncomfortable position, responding politely even when Trent sounded confrontational. Brice and Elizabeth have always been fan favorites, sweet, loving, supportive of each other. So when viewers felt Brice was being spoken down to, it triggered emotional responses across the internet. People wrote that Brice is kind, respectful, and patient, precisely why Trent's attitude didn't sit right with them. Some even said Trent behaved like Brice needed to earn approval he already deserves. To viewers, it almost felt like a power game. However, not everyone is blaming Trent. Many defend him, saying a father has every right to question the man who will marry his daughter. From their perspective, Trent wasn't angry, he was cautious. He may be evaluating whether Brice can provide stability, maintain a long-term commitment, and support Elizabeth emotionally and financially. Those fans argue that his protective instincts were misunderstood. Still, even supporters admit his delivery could have been softer and less intense, especially with cameras rolling. Brice's silence after the controversy has added more mystery. He hasn't issued any public response, respectful, but also curious. Elizabeth hasn't commented either, which fans find even more intriguing. Is she caught between loyalty to her partner and loyalty to her family? Or are they simply staying quiet to avoid fueling the fire? The show often highlights family challenges, communication issues, and emotional growth, but this conflict feels heavier than usual. Fans are now watching to see whether the situation escalates or leads to a breakthrough moment of understanding. Some hope Trent and Brice will eventually sit down, talk openly, and resolve their differences, building respect instead of friction. A genuine heart-to-heart could transform tension into trust. For now, speculation continues. Will Trent soften his approach? Will Brice stand up more strongly for himself? Will Elizabeth find herself torn between two people she loves most? Viewers have already chosen sides, and the family's next move could change everything. Seven Little Johnstons drama continues. Trent versus Brice. Fans demand clarity. The tension between Trent Johnston and Brice Bolden didn't fade after the first incident. Instead, it only intensified online. Viewers are still dissecting every frame, questioning Trent's motives and wondering how deep the conflict really goes. Was Brice disrespected, or was Trent simply testing the young man who hopes to marry his daughter? The audience wants answers, and the silence from the family only creates more speculation, confusion, and debate. In later episodes, Brice appeared calm. Polite smile, measured responses, but fans could see something behind his eyes. A quiet discomfort, maybe pressure. Many viewers felt he was seeking acceptance rather than trying to win an argument. Comments flooded social platforms. Brice wants peace, not conflict. He's trying to be mature. Meanwhile, Trent's physical posture suggested authority. Arms crossed, voice firm, attitude unbending. It felt less like a conversation and more like a challenge. Then Amber Johnston became part of the discussion. Usually the emotional mediator, she kept a balanced tone, stating that decisions about Elizabeth's future should be made as a family. That one sentence opened a new layer of interpretation. Was she supporting Trent or trying to protect Brice from being shut out? Some fans believe Amber is quietly holding the family together while preventing the conflict from growing worse. Elizabeth's position is the most complicated. She loves Brice deeply, but also values her family. Fans worry she may be stuck in the middle, torn between her partner and her father. Her silence adds emotional weight. She smiles on camera, but sometimes her eyes look concerned, like she knows things we don't. Will she speak up? Will she defend Brice or try to balance both sides? Brice has been close to the family for years, holidays, outings, celebrations, but Trent has always been the hardest to impress. Maybe he questions Brice's stability. Maybe he worries about financial responsibility. Maybe he fears Elizabeth could get hurt. These concerns aren't unreasonable. But viewers argue that concern doesn't excuse harshness. There's a difference between protection and pressure. Online reactions have now split into 3 groups. Team Brice, they believe he deserves respect and acceptance. Team Trent, they believe a father has the right to question everything. Team Resolution, they just want both men to talk, understand, and build trust. Reddit, Facebook groups, YouTube breakdowns, TikTok edits, all buzzing with speculation. Hashtags are forming. Fan theories are everywhere. Everyone wants to know what will happen next. The best outcome? A moment where Trent acknowledges Brice's effort, and Brice confidently expresses his long-term intentions. A mature conversation could change the entire direction of the show, transforming conflict into unity. A worst-case scenario, growing tension that strains relationships, even risking Elizabeth and Brice's future. This situation is bigger than one argument. It's about respect, communication, boundaries, responsibility, and love. Trent might be protective. Brice might be patient. But without middle ground, peace is impossible. Viewers are waiting for that breakthrough moment, the conversation, the forgiveness, the acceptance. The situation between Trent Johnston and Brice Bolden has now reached a point where viewers are no longer just reacting, they are invested, emotionally waiting to see how this family conflict unfolds. With each new episode, the dynamic between the two men becomes more layered, more intense, and more revealing. Fans have begun to notice patterns, shifting tone, and subtle power shifts that were not visible before. This isn't just a disagreement anymore. It's a test of patience, pride, and love within a family millions watch closely. Episodes following the initial argument show several subtle moments. A glance across the room, pauses during conversations, polite but rigid smiles. Trent often stands with a firm jaw, folded arms, while Brice maintains a calm but guarded stance. It feels as though both are trying to read each other, searching for intention beyond words. There is tension, yes, but also a strange sense of possibility, as if both men could eventually find respect for one another if they bridge the divide. A scene that particularly caught viewer attention was when the family discussed long-term plans, home ownership, and responsibility. Brice spoke clearly about his goals, stability, future plans with Elizabeth, and the kind of life he hopes to build. This moment was important because it shifted the spotlight. For the first time, Brice wasn't just responding, he was taking the lead. Trent listened, arms not as tightly crossed, face slightly softened, though still cautious. It was the first sign that something may be changing. But progress didn't come easily. A separate discussion later showed tension return. Not explosive, but sharp, subtle. Trent asked direct questions about finances, work, commitment. Brice answered, but his voice carried a hint of frustration, like someone tired of proving himself repeatedly. Fans picked up on the micro-expressions, a raised eyebrow, a forced breath. Nothing dramatic, but meaningful to those paying attention. Viewers felt a shift. Trent wasn't the only one being evaluated anymore. Brice was assessing Trent too. Amber, observant as always, glanced between them like someone measuring emotional temperature in the room. She stepped in with calm statements, easing conversations before they tipped into conflict. Many fans now believe Amber is the quiet bridge, the buffer preventing sparks from igniting into flame. Her presence matters. She doesn't choose sides. She encourages communication instead of confrontation. Without saying much, she guides energy in the room. Elizabeth's role grows more emotional in these episodes. She wants peace, not tension. She wants her father to trust the man she loves, and she wants Brice to feel like he belongs in her family. Viewers notice she sits closer to Brice now, hand sometimes resting on his knee, sending a message without words. He is my choice, and I stand with him. That subtle gesture speaks volumes. Fans saw it, replayed it, discussed it. It was a moment of quiet emotional power. The internet, as expected, is louder than ever. Fan pages are now filled with predictions. Asterisk, will Trent finally respect Brice openly? Asterisk, will Brice stand his ground and demand equal voice? Asterisk, will Elizabeth eventually confront her father? Asterisk, will the family come out stronger or crack under pressure? No one knows, but everyone wants to. Interestingly, not every moment has been tense. There have been scenes of small progress, moments where Trent and Brice worked together on a task, discussed plans more naturally, or shared a laugh that didn't feel forced. These small breakthroughs give fans hope. Viewers say those clips felt real, unscripted, like walls slowly lowering. It doesn't erase the conflict, but it shows potential for growth. What makes this storyline so gripping is that it mirrors real life. Many families experience this: the protective parent, the new partner trying to earn trust, the emotional tug of war. People relate to it. They've lived it. They've argued at similar kitchen tables, in living rooms, during family dinners. So when Trent and Brice navigate respect, authority, love, and acceptance on screen, viewers are not just watching. They are remembering their own stories. The Seven Little Johnstons fandom is seemingly on hyperdrive with all the family drama. The Johnstons have made quite a name for themselves due to their questionable integrity. Fan criticism is basically an everyday phenomenon for them now. The fandom has rightly been berating the family for their despicable behavior. Moreover, the patriarch and matriarch's questionable attitude took the cake. A recently released video preview featured a conversation between Trent and his new son-in-law, Brice. However, their conversation left the fans unsettled. The contents of the conversation drew a picture of the duo's condescending relationship dynamic. What was so disturbing about this particular conversation? What's the fans' take on this situation? What did Brice do? Keep on reading to know more about what went down. The Seven Little Johnstons fandom must know Brice as the eldest son-in-law of the family. He has been in the Johnston family picture for a very long time now. However, the fans were always concerned about his relationship dynamics with the family. He notably gets quieter and shielded when he's around the Johnstons. On multiple occasions, fans have noticed him getting uncomfortable and nervous around the family. Whatever the Johnstons say, he readily agrees. But various times, there are hints of unease on his face. Therefore, the fans have long speculated that his relationship with the family is dysfunctional. They also think that the Johnstons keep him under their leash with their manipulation. Hence, the fandom has urged him to take a stand for himself and grow a backbone. It's another day bringing another Seven Little Johnstons drama. The family drama at this point just keeps on multiplying. With passing time, increasing toxic patterns of the Johnstons are coming to light. At this point, the family's relationships are nothing but a to and fro of accusations and criticisms. However, the fandom is fed up with the family's dysfunctional dynamics and actively calls them out. Brice Bolden, the family's eldest son-in-law, is no stranger to the family's toxic patterns. Fans sometimes wonder how he's still persisting. The fandom knows him as an emotionally exploited puppet man who always listens to the family. Seven Little Johnstons viewers noticed how Liz and the whole family manipulated him over the years. In a conversation between Trent and Brice, the disturbing dynamics of the family clearly came to light. The conversation started with Brice expressing his joy about instances where baby Leighton runs to him and wants to be held by him. The proud father said it made him feel very good. However, Trent's dismissive response caught him off guard. "Well, when we are out around other people, of course she wants to go to you because you're taller, so when you hold her it gets her further away from strangers," Trent responded. Fans actively called Trent's behavior despicable and disgusting. What an awful thing to say. They really have a problem with average-sized people, don't they? Elizabeth Johnston married her husband right where their love story began. The Seven Little Johnstons star began dating Brice Bolden in 2019 after meeting in their neighborhood in Forsyth, Georgia, where they lived just 3 houses apart. Their relationship reached a new milestone in November 2023 when they welcomed their first child, daughter Leighton. Now, their relationship has entered another new chapter as the pair got married on November 8, 2025, which Elizabeth wrote on Instagram was the best day ever. Following their nuptials, Elizabeth told people that tying the knot with her husband means officially being able to call ourselves a family of 3 and being a team. So, who is Elizabeth Johnston's husband? Here's everything to know about Brice Bolden and his relationship with the TLC star. Brice has a passion for fishing. He has shared dozens of photos on his Instagram from fishing trips over the years, from Steinhatchee, Florida, to Juliet, Georgia. In May 2025, he and his friend launched a YouTube channel to share videos from their fishing adventures. Fishing Pole, just a couple of guys who love to fish, reads the channel's description. Join us as we cast our lines across Georgia and many other states, exploring rivers, lakes, coastlines, you name it. Brice has become a familiar face on the hit TLC show. In a January 2021 episode, Elizabeth introduced Brice to 2 of her friends, Carol and Daisy, who joined the pair on a fishing trip. The 2 friends grilled Elizabeth's beau on everything from whether or not he's a daredevil to how many children he wished to have. I kind of figured that Carol and Daisy would ask me a bunch of questions because they want to make sure that I'm a good guy for Elizabeth, Brice later said in a confessional. Now that the 7 Little Johnstons kids are all adults and living their lives, many fans wonder if TLC will start giving them spin-offs. More specifically, fans recently discussed the possibility of a Liz Johnston and Brice Bolden spin-off, now that they officially have baby Leighton Bolden. So, what did viewers have to say? As 7 Little Johnstons fans have seen, even before Leighton's arrival, Brice and Liz had no shortage of drama. All last season, TLC had a goldmine of storylines between Brice and Liz splitting up, getting back together, and then announcing that they were expecting. This season, 7 Little Johnstons scenes featuring these 2 have been all about Liz and Brice adjusting to being parents and adjusting to taking care of a newborn. Even though they have a lot of extra pairs of hands to help, it's still a lot to deal with, especially for 2 young people who are new to parenthood. One of the big questions that a lot of 7 Little Johnstons fans have is whether or not TLC would give Brice and Liz their own spin-off, particularly now that they have Leighton in the fold. Many fans are tired of the current format that the show has, and many would love nothing more than to see less of Amber Johnston. However, even if TLC did hypothetically give these 2 new parents their own spin-off, with a focus on Leighton, it's almost guaranteed that Amber would find some way to insert herself into the storyline. Fans see it already in season 15 scenes, so it would more than likely be more of the same in that regard. on the subject of a potential Liz Johnston and Brice Bolden Seven Little Johnstons spinoff with baby Leighton, fans had a lot to say recently, with most of it being not very positive. With Brice Bolden filming more Seven Little Johnstons scenes, particularly with baby Leighton featured heavily in the upcoming season, many fans wonder if Brice is getting TLC money, as well as whether or not Amber Johnston is stealing Brice's paychecks. As Seven Little Johnstons fans have seen in recent seasons of the family TLC show, Brice Bolden has been featured more prominently of late, especially as things between him and Liz Johnston have gotten more serious. This was true of the previous season as well. In Seven Little Johnstons Season 14, the Liz and Brice split storyline was a big deal that took up a good chunk of the airtime. In addition to that, when they got back together and announced that they were expecting, there was an even bigger part of the season that was dedicated to this storyline. Based on the latest spoilers for Seven Little Johnstons Season 15 making the rounds, Leighton Bolden is going to be a major part of the storyline in the upcoming season. TLC introduced fans to Leighton officially in the previous season when she made her arrival. However, based on teasers for the upcoming season, how the rest of the family adapts to having her around is going to be a major part of things. Because Leighton Bolden features heavily in the upcoming Seven Little Johnstons season, it stands to reason that Liz Johnston and Brice Bolden will also feature prominently in the upcoming installment of the TLC family show. Due to this, there has been a lot of discussion among fans as to whether or not TLC is now cutting Brice a paycheck, as well as whether or not Liz Johnston or Amber Johnston is taking it from him. Because Brice Bolden is such a yes man when it comes to both Amber Johnston and Liz Johnston. Even if the network is now cutting Brice a check for appearing in scenes, many Seven Little Johnstons fans believe that either Amber Johnston or Liz Johnston could be cashing those checks and pocketing the funds. Seven Little Johnstons star Liz Johnston gave an update on where her relationship with Brice Bolden currently stands after welcoming baby number one, a daughter named Leighton Drew Bolden, in November 2023. Things with Brice and I now have been a lot better than they were before. Liz, 22, told Access Hollywood in an interview published on Wednesday, May 15th. Definitely give credit to Leighton. It definitely has put Brice and I on a new journey than just, from high school to dating to moving out. The TLC personality admitted that having baby number one brought her relationship with Brice, 25, closer together, and allowed them to learn more things about each other through their new parenthood journey. It has definitely put our perspective on what life is like when you bring in another individual into the world. She continued, him and I, we matter in a way, but I've always put it in Brice's mindset that Leighton is number one. Liz revealed their next goal as a couple was to build or buy a home before Leighton's second birthday, so they can start their life as a family of three. Which reality TV show would you want to join? The mom of one revealed her shocking pregnancy news during the May 14th episode of the Seven Little Johnstons. Fans were initially confused about the baby timeline, as the couple had announced their split earlier in the season. When Liz and Brice first found out about their pregnancy news, they were separated and still in the process of trying to fix things in their relationship. During a brunch date with her parents, Amber and Trent Johnston, Liz dropped the news that not only had she and Brice reconciled their relationship, but she was also 21 weeks pregnant. That was the biggest impact for us, that she had waited that long. And that's where all the concern started, Trent, 48, said in a private confessional. Elizabeth being pregnant was not our biggest hurdle. I think it took Amber, and I back that it took her so long to tell us. In the conversation with Access Hollywood, Liz confessed she would do things differently and not wait as long to tell her parents about a future pregnancy. I'm constantly reminded when baby number two in the future comes, I'm just going to tell them right off the bat, Liz told the outlet, because we were going through our little split, and when I did find out that I was pregnant, it was a big surprise because my parents and his parents both knew that we were going through a lot, and this definitely would have taken them by surprise. It took the couple a while to figure out how to tell their families, as Liz's mom and siblings were graduating, and they didn't want to take away from their milestones. Where does the time go? 7 Little Johnstons stars Liz Johnston and Brice Bolden are already celebrating daughter Leighton Drew Bolden's first birthday. Liz, 22, took to Instagram on Leighton's birthday, Sunday, November 3rd, to share photos and a video from what appeared to be their family celebration for the toddler. The snaps showed the TLC star and her boyfriend, 26, posing with Leighton in front of a pink and gold woodland creature-themed backdrop featuring the phrase, "Isn't she wonderful?" as well as matching balloons. Meanwhile, in the video, Liz bounced Leighton in her arms as people in the background sang, "Happy birthday." At the end of the song, she and Brice helped their daughter blow out the candles on a yellow unicorn-themed cake, which was set up on a high chair decorated with a pink and gold one garland. "Our Leighton Drew is one," Liz captioned the post. "We love you so much, Ladybug, baby girl Butterbean. You've made this year one that your daddy, and I will never forget, we love being your parents, and are so blessed to call you ours. We can't wait to see what the years ahead bring." Liz and Brice, who have been dating since 2018, announced on September 28, 2023, that they were expecting their first child. The couple posed with a sonogram image on a sign that read, "Baby coming November 2023. The pair welcomed Leighton on November 3rd, 2023, announcing the big news via People. "The wait is finally over. We're excited to introduce our baby to the world," they told the outlet. Liz's siblings, Jonah Johnston, Alex Johnston, Emma Johnston, and Anna Johnston, and parents Amber Johnston and Trent Johnston, have soaked up every minute of being aunts, uncles, and grandparents. However, baby Leighton arrived after Amber, 44, and Trent, 48, warned their second oldest child not to move too quickly with Brice when the two said they were planning to move in together during season 11 of 7 Little Johnstons. "I know, Dad, and I really don't want to see a wedding until you get school done," Amber told Liz, who was finishing college at the time. "Because it would be impossible for you to finish your degree if you get married and have a baby. Because once you get married, then it's like, oh, the next step, have a baby." Liz and Brice did hit a rough patch in their romance before their daughter came along, as she explained on 7 Little Johnstons in May. However, Leighton helped get the couple back on track. "Things with Brice and I now have been a lot better than they were before," Liz revealed. "Definitely give credit to Leighton. It definitely has put Brice and I on a new journey than just, from high school to dating to moving out." She continued, "It has definitely put our perspective on what life is like when you bring in another individual into the world. Him and I, we matter in a way, but I've always put it in Brice's mindset that Leighton is number one." In June, Liz revealed to People that she hoped to expand their family even further. "I think one day, when Leighton's a little older, maybe closer to school, I can convince him for us to just have one more," she told the outlet. "One more try for a little person is what I tell him. Just for us to try, because we would definitely be stoked of having one average and one little someday."